What value do we give to books? What can books and reading actually do for us? This is Stories, Arches, and Sequels. I'm Joy.
I'm Lydia.
And I'm Ariana.
Today's topic is The Lost Books, The Scroll of Kings.
The Lost Books, The Scroll of Kings is a book written by Sarah Prentice about a 15-year-old boy named Alex who wants to be a librarian. Now, in this book, no one reads. The only people who use libraries are librarians, and there are no new librarians. But after Alex is marked by the Codex, a large red-letter brown book with no title, a librarian takes him on as his apprentice. Librarians all have pages, which are literally pages that fly around and do small tasks and deliver messages for the librarians. The distraught pages are the ones who tell Alex that the librarian has died, and upon investigation, Alex discovered that the book killed him. Unfortunately for Alex, he is kicked out of the castle shortly afterwards. Naturally, when Alex finds a letter addressed to the dead librarian, asking him to take over the librarian for the Queen's castle because the librarian died of old age.
This book is marketed as a standalone, but anyone who has read it knows that it is set up to be a series. While it ties up in the main goal and leaves out many questions unanswered, and only one of the lost books is found. So what would we like to see in a sequel?
First of all, a bit of romance between Alex and Queen Kennewick, who is 16. Second, we would like to know more about the Codex and what happened 60 years ago. Since Alex's father is the leader of this SWIFT, a military group, maybe a war on the rise would make things more interesting. So not only is our obnoxious librarian Alex fighting off books, but armies as well. Alex and Charlie, for sure, need to go off looking for more lost books at other libraries, and maybe Queen Kennewick if she could get away. They also need to save the other librarians before they all die and get killed off by their books. Because during the first book, Alex's librarian who's teaching him dies, the Queen's librarian dies, and then Alex gets a letter from another librarian asking for help about a book, and then when he sends her a reply, he gets a reply back from someone else who says that she died reading at her desk, and it's nothing to worry about. So
I think that's a little bit much to worry about. Like, I mean, come on. They're dead. What else? Why would we not worry about a dead person who read a book? Like, which book were they reading when they died? How did it kill them? Blah, 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 blah. Those are my questions, honestly.
And Alex is pretty much the only one who knows that books are killing librarians off.
People just know that they die of mysterious causes. Like, they go into the library and they never come out, and then suddenly somebody says, oh yeah, they died like 2 years ago. What do you mean they died 2 years ago?
Also, I was skimming the book before, and Miss Bug, I forgot about her. They found her in the attic of the library or something, and she was the Queen's librarian's apprentice. And then when that librarian died, she was hiding for some reason because she was scared of books.
I mean, I would be too.
After they killed the librarian that was working with you, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, they're dead.
Also, an important question to ask is, how are the books alive? We know the little books are awoken by the lost books, and that the lost books contain the soul of someone. At the end of the book, Kennewick, Alex, and Miss Bug are all talking about how no new books have been written in 60 years, and how the books need to be freed and read. And naturally, since Alex is a librarian, not a librarian, but the librarian, he needs to become the librarian over all the other libraries.
Like he needs to be the head librarian.
Yes.
Like, I am in charge. Hoorah, listen to me. Yes. I'm a 15-year-old man and I'm a librarian. You better listen to me.
He's so disrespectful.
Honestly, if a 15-year-old came up to me and started telling me how to do my job, I'd probably look at them like they're insane. Like, I'm a librarian. Yes. How long have you been a librarian? For 2 weeks.
Really?
Oh. Okay. You're supposed to read these really dangerous books. Uh-huh, kid. Do you want a sucker? Do you want a lollipop? Like, yeah. He sounds so rude.
He is. The queen sent him a message telling him to meet her. And guess what? He sent a message that was like 3 words, like too busy. And then just his first initial. He didn't even sign his full name. And then she responded with, that was an order. And then he's like, okay, fine. And then he goes and does stuff for a few hours.
Honestly, I would love
And
to see
falls
this turned
asleep.
I would love to see this turned into like a movie or like a animated series, because that would be so funny. To just like, kid, you better get on this. Sounds good, Queen. No, I mean get on this. Oh, yeah, sure. So you said that the books are haunted by dead, like, souls? Like souls
Not
of the dead?
exactly haunted, but like they contain like, oh, someone's trapped inside. I'm not really sure, which is what I'm hoping the sequel would answer.
Okay. So if I were to be like reading one of the sequels, what I would want to see is something like he opens a book, like the Harry Potter series, like he opens the book and like writes in the margins, and then somebody writes back,
Oh, that would be
or
cool.
like the words start mixing up and answering his questions.
Well,
Like he's annotating
Yeah.
the book, and the book starts answering his annotations. Like,
yeah.
hey,
That's actually kind of what the Codex did. Like, in the beginning, when he finds the Codex, like the words crawl like onto his wrist, and like he kind of
creepy.
he kind of describes them as like spiky black ants, and then they just tattoo themselves onto his wrist, and then like they form words. Like at one point they tell him to go, and another point they tell him he's the librarian, and they tell him like important information every once in a while, and often they tell him nonsense.
Oh, that would be interesting.
That's really interesting. I also, if he's going on exploring like multiple libraries, I really want to see the souls of each book and how like how the souls of these books just maybe they were related to like the librarians that used to live there. Like maybe they're the ones who wrote those books, so they
Yeah.
became
Either they wrote the books or they died reading the books and their soul got trapped in the book that they
Right.
were
That'd be
reading.
interesting, yeah.
Like,
Because we know the School of the Kings like was written by a good king, and like so it gives you power, but like the uncle wanted to become a dictator, and he wanted to use the School of the Kings to help him gain the power. But in the face-off, when he finally had the book, he was like, "Wait, why isn't it walking?" And Queen Kennewick was like, "Because it was written by a good king." And, like, this is what being a king means, like a good king.
oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Like, having the idea of being a good king is you can't use any of the words for evil. That's interesting. I would love to see that, like, play in more in the second book. Like, somebody keeps trying to use that book for evil.
Oh, well, not that
Or-
book, since that book's locked up. But that was one of the lost books.
Yeah,
And there
like
are more
another
lost books.
another lost book that's like actually written by like a bad king or something that they try to use for
Yes.
good or for like for the wrong reasons, and it's
Yeah.
not letting them use it for the wrong reason. Like it's an
Yeah.
evil king's book, and you try to use it to like, oh, this actually says that if you do this, you could help so many people. So you try to do it, and it like kills like half the population. And you're just sitting there like, oh no, oops, I should probably turn this book in.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to see that touched on. That would be really interesting.
Yeah, throughout the book, like, Alex is attacked by multiple books. The first one, the one that killed his librarian that he was walking under, was, like, a book on vines, and, like, vines started crawling out of the books and, like, trying to, like, wrap around him and suffocate him like an anaconda. Another one was about book titled The Human Heart, and, like, you could hear the heartbeat thump, thump, thump. And it got slower and
disturbing.
slower and slower, and Alex's heartbeat slowed with it.
Oh, that's actually really interesting because if you know human anatomy and psychology, if you're sitting next to somebody for a really long time or you're like snuggling with somebody, your heartbeat and your breathing match up with that person.
Yeah.
So if somebody's having a panic attack, just give them a hug and start breathing slower, and their breathing will match your breathing slower, and their heartbeat will slow down. And it's actually really helpful to calm people down or to give somebody a panic attack on purpose. Seeing that happen, like the books heartbeat starts slowing down, and then his heartbeat that's actually really interesting, and that's like tied to psychology. That actually happens. So wait, the queen is young?
Yeah, she's 16. Before her uncle, the bad guy, ruled as regent until like 3 months ago, I believe, and now she's queen, but he wants to be king again, which is the whole thing. And so he's sneaking around the library trying to find the lost book, The Scroll of the Kings. And he has a key to get into the library, and Alex is always like, "What are you doing here?" I don't like the fact that you have a key. And the secretary denies it. Also, what happened to Queen Kennewick's parents? Because I would love to know that.
Yeah, like, if she's a queen at 16, why is she a queen at 16? That's kind of disturbing, because in other shows and movies that I've watched or read, it's stuff like, oh yeah, they're on a quest or something. They'll be back. I'm queen in the moment. Okay, that makes sense. Or they're really sick, so I'm stepping up.
Yeah.
Or they're dead.
Yeah.
Are they dead? Are they sick? Are they gone? What happened? Was she adopted into the royal family?
Was it political marriage?
Was it political marriage?
I think they're dead, because it's just her and her brother and her uncle, until they have to, like, lock up their uncle because he's evil. Also, her younger brother cannot read.
Well, that makes sense, because, like, librarians and all the books are it's terrifying. Of course they wouldn't know how to read. Like, I bet half of the population of just normal living doesn't know how to read for safety reasons.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder if they have any books in the library that are just like picture books. Like,
oh my god, that would be so scary. Like, you open the book and the book comes alive. Like, imagine you open a Winnie the Pooh picture book, and Winnie the Pooh's like,
I mean, a lion did come out of one book. Yeah. Charlie's often expelled from this one military school. Just if you want any more info about the Frost book.
Is Charlie the main character?
Alex is the main character. He's the obnoxious librarian who
I don't like
Alex. He doesn't obey anyone.
Is Charlie his brother?
Charlie is Queen Kennewick's brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old is Charlie?
15.
15?
Yeah.
So he's only a year younger. Does he act like a child, or does he act like how he's supposed to? Like, age-wise?
Mostly how he's supposed to.
Okay.
He meets Alex. Alex insults him. Charlie...
Of course Alex insults him.
Yes. He says, "Your royal lumpiness." And then he also goes on to call Charlie completely useless. And then to which Charlie says, "Meet me, like, at XYZ at this time. I'm challenging you to a duel."
Please tell me Alex doesn't even show up.
No, he doesn't. He looks annoyed. He looks genuinely annoyed and just grabs a random practice sword.
Is there, like, a romance between Alex and the Queen?
A little bit. There's definitely spokes.
Some books, like, they hint at a romance.
Yeah.
And then it's a friendship.
What if Queen Kennewick knows more secrets about the book that Alex doesn't know, but she can't reveal it because she is a queen?
Like before her parents died, they were telling her all of this information, or she found like their diary or a book or something, and then she's reading it, but it's like a nice book, so it won't hurt her. And she's learning all this information, and she's like, "Oh my god, I gotta tell Alex, but I can't tell Alex."
And what if that book also became a lost book, or like one of those?
That would be interesting.
And it contained the souls of her parents.
What if the book didn't contain the souls of her parents when she found it, and she's reading it, and they're like on a quest or something, and then suddenly somebody comes home and tells her, "Ma'am, your parents are gone. You're the queen." And she opens the book the next day and she hears her parents' voices or something.
Oh,
that would be so sad, but it would be so interesting to learn, like, how that happens. Because if it's somebody's diary, and it could turn into a one of the lost books. Well, yeah, but I want to know more information, but we don't have enough information to learn.
The thing is, half her books are not, like, talked about much online. It's like, it's kind of insane. Like, although she has her page, her webpage
Yeah.
online, she doesn't talk about the Lost Books much. She talks about
No,
every other
yeah.
series and how the publications are released. So,
The Lost Book is almost a lost book.
yep.
The Lost Books is a lost book. Whenever I look it up online, it finishes my sentence with series.
Yes.
Yet it's not a series.
Yes.
There's only one book.
Everybody
And then-
looks up series who reads it
Yeah.
because they think, oh, this is a series. I can't wait for book 2. Oh, it's not out yet. I can't wait for it to come out. No, it doesn't come out.
I just looked up on Google The Lost Books, The Scroll of Kings, and it finishes it for me.
yes, with
Summary.
series.
Book 2.
Yeah.
Other books by the author of blank. Second book of Kings. Like second
Yeah.
book of The Scroll of the Kings. And nothing is coming up. This is actually very interesting.
Yeah.
Why didn't she come out with a second book? Do you guys know?
No, we could. The only reason is that it was marketed as a standalone, and it's not a standalone. I'm sorry to tell you. If you didn't know, go read your book. It's good, but it's not a standalone.
Or it wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah, like maybe the idea to write a book 2 or make it a series was in her mind while she was writing it, and she just later decided no, she wasn't going to write anymore, but then never fixed all of the things she left open for book 2. She set up, like, not just for book 2, but for, like, more series. Like, as many Lost Books there are, you could have series.
Yeah, you could have
yeah.
you could have like a 5-page, like a 5-book series of this.
Yes, but it's one. Like, if I would
Like,
love to know why
every
not.
time I look it up, it comes up with her other books like The Magic Thief and stuff. I bet most of our listeners have heard of the Magic Thief series.
Yeah.
Like, even I have, and I don't even remember this author all that much, but I do know the Magic series.
You know, it's ironic that it's called the
Scroll, like,
the Lost Books.
and it's a lost book.
Yeah.
No, books, though.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
plural.
Yes.
You're expecting
And,
more
like,
than one.
You're expecting
has
you're
this-
definitely expecting more than one.
It has the series title, The Lost Books, and then the current book, like book 1's title, Scroll of Kings.
Yeah,
Scroll-
like how Percy
yeah.
Jackson has Percy Jackson, Heroes of Olympus, or Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters.
Yes.
It's the Percy Jackson series, but it has like the actual book title. But every single time I look up the Lost Book Scroll of Kings, another book comes up called The Magic Thief by the same author. And I remember seeing these books. Like, there are 4 or 5 of the Magic Thief books. And I remember my mom trying to make me read them, but I didn't read them. But I keep finding nothing else on her lost books.
I know, like, it's just very short, like, summaries of the book, like, oh, I liked it usually, and, like, there was
It's a
even one that
page-turner.
said, yeah.
It's a fast-paced, engaging adventure.
So why isn't there a book 2?
Why isn't there a book 2? And
Your audience would love one.
please listen to us.
And a movie, if you did it right,
Oh, it would be a
Yes.
wonderful movie. Listen to us, Sarah Prenus.
please.
Come out with another book.
Let the librarian speak.
Let the librarians
Yes.
speak. Find the other lost books. Let's find out what happened to the other librarians that are dead.
Yes.
Let's find out why there are souls trapped in these books, or like spirits, or
Yeah.
whatever.
And
Let-
what happened 60 years ago? Like, what dangerous thing
What dangerous thing happened 60 years ago that
closed off
closed
books,
off all the
like,
libraries?
And, like, no one read anymore after that. And no
What?
one remembers. Except librarians, who are very secretive and probably are getting old enough to the point where they can forget.
But then their souls would turn into the books again, and then you would end up having to solve the puzzle through the books they left behind. It all goes full circle.
Like, she has so many. She has the Magic Thief collection with 4 books in it. She has the Winterling collection with 3 books in it. She has the Ash and Bramble with 2, Lost Books with 1, and Trouble in the Stars with 2. But she doesn't have any more for the Lost Books. And it's Lost Books, plural.
Yes.
Why aren't there more Lost Books? There's only one Lost Book in that book, isn't there? Like, it only, like, focuses on one main book.
Yeah, the Scroll of Kings. I think there's maybe one other one mentioned. And, like, in the letter, the librarian says, like, I found a book with a strange marking on it. What do I do? And then she dies.
And this book is also relatively new. It came out in 2018. Like, she's gotten a couple of other ones called, like, the Trouble in the Stars series that came out in 2021 and 22. But she doesn't have any books from Lost Books. Like, she's contributed in a couple of other ones, but, like...
And we know that the Lost Books are what's causing the other books in the other libraries to come alive. So every librarian who died from a book means that the book came alive because that library had a lost book. And so Alex then needs to go to that library, find the lost book, and take care of it so that the books go back asleep and stop killing librarians.
So that means there needs to be at least one in, like, 3 other libraries. At least one.
Yes.
There could be more. Like, I can see that in, like, one of the other, like, in case, if she made another book, I could see that that Alex would go to another library, find the lost book that's been wreaking havoc, and take it out and go back and, like, put it under lockdown.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, that library doesn't go back to normal, so he has to go back and find another one. And that one's, like, harder to find or something.
He does.
Imagine that they separated the lost books because if they're all together, that's what happened 60 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, that huge...
like whatever
travesty that happened 60 years ago. Like, if you have all the lost books together, it may cause that again. So,
and if he puts them together not knowing, because no one tells him what happened 60 years ago and he's just trying to do what he thinks is best, then he could start another thing and then have to resolve it.
That would be like a series finale.
Yes.
Like, he puts the last book in, and I could imagine Queen Kennert is like, you can't do that. Don't put them all together.
Yeah.
Like, put them in a separate room. And one day, like, he puts them all in separate rooms. And then one day, he wakes up to find 2 of them are together. And then 3 of them are together the next day.
Yeah.
And he keeps moving them, but they keep going back. And then suddenly, he figures out that somebody in the middle of the night has been sneaking off and putting them together.
Oh.
And it caught, like, once he gets the last book in place, it got, like, there's a huge explosion, and then, like, he has to go battle the books all together, and they turn into, like, a book dragon or something. That would be really interesting.
I could even see the lost books just wanting to be together.
Yeah.
Because they can move and stuff. And they can kill you.
No, really?
But why do the books want to kill them in the first place? Is it because they're not being appreciated at the value that they're supposed
That's
to have?
another good question.
Like,
why?
Why are they killing? Why are they angry? Oh, no.
Yeah. And, like, every book that... They're, like, almost being poisoned by the lost books or something. Because they'll get this mark on them. And then they'll come alive. And then when you open them, they'll, like, attack you. And so if you find any book with that strange marking on, it means it's been marked by a lost book. And now it's dangerous. And then Alex locks it up in, like, a box or in chains and puts it in this one room that he has in his library.
Like, okay.
But we still...
I could see them be, like, the lost books being able to be tamed. Like, the one that he found in the first book, you said, was written by a good king.
Yes.
And couldn't be used for evil. I can imagine that one can be tamed.
Yes.
And, like, he can use it for his personal benefit and help with the other, like, help find the other other lost books.
Yeah.
Like, that could be his book that he uses to find the other lost books.
Yeah.
That would be really interesting concept if he could, like, that's, like... I'm imagining, like, a paladin from D&D with, like, his book of God, and he's just, like, reading his book of God and, like, controlling what's around him. I can imagine him using that as his book and controlling the other book to listen.
Yes, the codex. Like, maybe he finds the codex again. Because what happened to the codex?
Or he uses that lost book of the Good King.
Yeah.
He uses that book to control the other books. And once he gets all the other books together, the codex is like, they're all together. I should go find them. And that's what causes the other books to become evil again, is because the codex is like infesting its thoughts upon the other books.
Or maybe the codex used to be good, but then was infested. But yeah, like the codex found Alex because he finds it like in the shelf, put away back, and he's like, and he's been in his father's library a lot because he hides away there. No one goes there. And yes, it's dusty and moldy because it doesn't have a librarian or anything. But like he knows all the books. And then he finds the codex and he's like, oh, a book I've never seen before. I must have missed it. And then the wards start crawling out and they tattoo his wrist. And then 2 other people from the Swift come in and then they're like, the wards are crawling up them like ants and kind of attacking them. And they're just yelling and one's waving her sword around. And Alex is like, put your sword away before you poke somebody.
Oh my god, that's... Okay, so how would we write, if we were to write this sequel, how would we do that? Like, what would it open with? Like, where did we end off and how would we open it next?
We ended off with Queen Kennewick, Alex, and Miss Bug discussing the need for books to be read and freed. And so I think Alex would be trying to get people to read books. I also think he would need to go off to other libraries to find the rest of the lost books.
Oh, most definitely.
Yes.
But how would we exactly
start it off? I mean, maybe he and Charlie are on the road and they're bickering over something. I don't think Alex is a morning person.
Okay, I can imagine it focuses on Charlie for like the first 2 pages, explaining how he's getting up, getting ready, packing up camp, and Alex is just asleep.
Yes.
And he goes back and every now and then check on Alex, and Alex is like out. And then Charlie's like, hey, are you going to get up and help me, or are you just gonna lay there like a lazy bum? And Alex gets up and he grabs the scroll of the king's book. He grabs the book and he's just fine. And he starts reading out of the book and it packs everything up. It's magic and it packs everything up. And now he's just sitting there like, really? You couldn't have gotten up any sooner to help me clean up?
Yeah.
Really?
But also, Alex has 20 to 30 pages, I believe. Most librarians have 2 to 3. So, and his pages would probably also pack up for them to an extent.
Definitely.
Yeah,
most definitely.
So it'd just be Charlie and the pages packing up, and Alex would be there.
Or it's just Charlie, and they don't react until he's awake.
Yeah, or maybe the pages could get help pack up, but they don't because Alex didn't tell them to. Instead, they just make Alex a cup of tea because they've done that before.
Yeah, they're just sitting there making Alex a cup of tea, getting his breakfast ready, and Charlie's just sitting there cleaning up. Why aren't they helping me? Come on, we need to get going. And suddenly Alex wakes up and he's drinking his tea slowly. he's sitting in his sleeping bag or whatever, and just this is nice. And Charlie looks at him like, get up, you bum. And Alex just snaps his fingers and all the pages go and clean everything up in 15 seconds.
Yes.
And Charlie's just sitting there like, really? You really? Come on.
The peak of laziness.
I would do that. Okay, it's not laziness; it's productivity in the different sense.
And Alex does do a lot, but he just is not a morning person.
No, and I could imagine they're like, okay, they're taking their horses and they're just trotting down the street, going to find this other library that's 15,000 miles down south or something. And they're going, and they're going, and they're going. And suddenly, this random person runs up to them. Don't go over there. It's terrifying. There's mountains and mountains of terror. And they're just looking at him like he's crazy. And they're like, take us to where you're talking about. This random guy takes him over, and the library is in shambles or something.
Yeah.
And they are like sitting there for like another 3 chapters trying to figure out how to get this book to stop.
Yes. We could even introduce a new character who wants to read too, like
That could be the other librarian.
And they doubted it. Like, yeah.
That could be the other librarian, and they don't have any pages or anything, and they're just like...
They were just
no.
they found a book, they opened it up, like, what is this? Ooh, fun, exciting new
No,
thing.
they open one of the lost books, they're like, oh, this one looks interesting. And it just explodes the entire library in front of them. They're like, oh. They could spend like 3 entire chapters cleaning up after that mess and trying to get the book handled.
Oh, Alex and his father. When you were reading, did you come across the fact that A, Alex ran away? B, eventually the Swift come to the castle because they found him, and like Charlie's like, oh no, the Swift out here, they're gonna arrest you, and Alex is like, they're not gonna arrest me. It's just my dad.
Yeah, don't worry, it's just my dad. The dad. Oh, you're getting arrested, son.
You're getting grounded.
No. Oh, you're getting in trouble. You're getting arrested. Gets put in jail for one night.
Yeah.
Honestly, if my dad was a cop, he would do that.
But anyways, yeah. And Alex and his father mostly walk out the issues, but I could also see Alex's father giving him some pushback over being a librarian. No, come back. Like, you took care of the problem. Yeah, books are dangerous, blah, 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 but the danger is over. Come back home. Do SAW training stuff with us.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Yeah.
You're supposed to follow me and my lineage. Let's get over here.
Yeah.
And sword fighting and learning all that stuff. Him. But my books. My precious little baby books.
Which is the reason he ran away in the first place. He was like, I want to be a librarian. And
I don't want to learn sword training, Father. I want to read.
He's very good with his sword. Like, in 2 seconds, like, when he and Charlie are doing a duel, he has Charlie disarmed, and Charlie picks up his sword again, and they go again. And then only when, like, Charlie's been disarmed for a second time, and, like, blood is gushing from his nose, do they, like, stop, and Charlie's like, teach me.
Teach me your ways, master.
And, like, Alex is just like, I'm a librarian. I'm not a sword fighter. I don't teach sword. I'm not a sword, like
I could see Alex begrudgingly teaching Charlie as they're like cleaning up after the mess from the book in the library far south or something. And they're like this huge explosions and all that stuff. And Alex is like, okay, get your sword. I'll finally teach you something. He's like all excited, like, yay!
Yeah. But yeah, I can also imagine like Alex trying to teach Charlie how to read, because like
almost
Charlie can't.
definitely, almost definitely.
I think Charlie is dyslexic, which like the words move around for him, and I can see the books doing that on purpose to random people.
I can see the books will move the words around on Charlie, and then Alex will find like a nice book or something, and the words are moving around to help him read.
Yes. Or like Alex just like, Charlie's like, I can't read, and Alex just goes over to the book and is like, stop messing with him.
And it just goes back to normal, and he goes, what the hell? Like, I could see Charlie looking up to Alex as like a brother figure.
Yes.
In the second book.
Yes.
Like, most definitely just like, can you teach me something? I'm bored. And Alex was just sitting there like, fine.
Just like how Alex pestered the old librarian. So he became one.
And like, I don't know. The first librarian Alex walked with was obsessed with bug feces, and I can just imagine like Alex like passing down his knowledge even though he didn't like learning about it, like, like this semi-useful information that you really don't want to know is now yours.
Like math.
Yes.
could leave it at that.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, so summarize. We open to them waking up at a camp.
Yes.
They find a
Library in shambles.
a library in shambles. They find the librarian who did it. They figure out what happened, how they can fix it. Then they fix it. Then they go back to the castle, and they put the other book with
the first one.
With the first one, and the queen is like, "Don't do that. Excuse you. You should not do that. That is bad. That is really bad." And Alex is like, "What do you mean it's bad? How can this be bad? This is definitely not bad." And then suddenly, something happens with the books, and Alex is like, "Okay, yeah, we shouldn't put those together."
Yeah.
And he puts it in like a separate room. Like there's a couple different rooms that they go in, like specifically for those books. And the queen is like, "Okay, great, wonderful. I'm going to send you on another mission. You're going to go to this other library, and you're going to fix it."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, where is this library, and how can I help?" And it's the same library.
Oh.
With the same librarian.
Yes.
Or she was moved to a different library or something, and they find her again.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I keep opening these really interesting books, and they keep attacking me," or something like that. And it's still another lost book. And she has, like, a touch to find those lost books, like, specifically those lost books.
Yes.
And they, like, hire her, and now she's part of their team.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. And they find, like, 2 books in this one.
Yeah.
And in the next, it ends off on them finding another book, and then in the next book, something happens again, and they find more books, and then in like the series finale, they have all the lost books. Let's say there are like 5 of them, and then the codex is like, "Oh, they're all together. Interesting." And the codex goes back and forces all the books to go together, and Alex wakes up in the middle of the night because the book he was holding is no longer in his hand. And he runs out, and the codex is, like, glowing, and all the other books are surrounding it, and it turns into, like, a monster, like a snake monster or something, and it wraps around the castle, and they have to fight it off, and the queen is like, "This is why I told you we shouldn't have all the books together."
And, like, all along, the codex is just like, people should read books, and I will turn into a dragon if I have to.
And... like, the Queen's Diary is one of the books, but nobody knows that it's one of the books until until Alex wakes up, and it's all of them surrounding the codex, and he's like, "Why is there a pink sparkly book?" or something, and the Queen's like, "You shouldn't read it! No!"
Whatever you do not read that book.
But he, like, to defeat the monster, he has to read all the books in order or something, and that's the last book that he has to read, and in the end it professes her love to him, and he closes the book and he looks at her, and he's like, "Oh."
very minimally.
Oh, it stopped completely for me. So in the end, those 2 get together.
Yeah.
Like, the books are defeated, and he can finally read the codex.
Yeah.
And the codex has all the information about what happened 60 years ago. And it tells him, "Hey, you shouldn't put these books together." And he's like, "Oh, really? Couldn't tell."
You couldn't tell me this, like, at the beginning of the book when you put your tattoo on me and all your words and everything. Was that supposed to be like a warning to me? Like,
It doesn't
I
say
couldn't
any
actually
warnings.
understand, like, what it was. It was just a jumble of letters.
Like, just, I could imagine this would become a wonderful series.
Yeah.
But
It's not a series. It's a standalone, guys. I mean, this whole time it's just been a standalone. What are we even doing making this sequel for a standalone?
because it needed a sequel.
Yes.
That's what this podcast is about. And that was our sequel.
Yes. So
let us know what you think in the comments.
And if you've read it, and if there's anything else you would like to see in the sequel.
Or something we missed.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you need to do to listen to this podcast even more. If you have any questions, let us know. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.